Well, we are back on stream for Thursday night. I hope that you guys have had a good week. We haven't really been streaming whatsoever. We've been working on some pretty good projects, a bunch more of world building content, and we did actually happen to have a brand new world building video come out today, so I do hope that you guys enjoy it. But we are back here on Forevercraft. Now let's see, okay, we can get back into our original perspective here. And today we're going to be just kind of hanging out and collecting some materials. We are just about ready for our first ever build on Forevercraft, and I'm very excited about it. But we have a whole ton of trees that we do need to chop down, and we have some other things that we need to do as well. But it has been definitely a busy week on this end, I will have to admit. And I'm glad that we've been able to have as much content come out as we have been able to have. And yeah, I'm thankful for that. I would say I feel like I'm in a pretty good rhythm when it comes to creating content. And I have tons of videos in the back burner too. We have tons of SMP content, but it does seem like a lot of the kind of more educational content is performing a lot better on the channel right now. So I do think that I'm going to continue doing that. And it seems like it's pretty well received by other people, but I do also really enjoy playing with other people too, right? And I love creating things and playing the game by itself. So we'll have to see how we balance that in the future. But the good news is that we also have kind of an interesting video coming out on the second channel tomorrow too, which I hope that you guys are excited about. But it is, yeah, it's definitely, I don't know how to say it. It's not unhinged, I would say, but it's a bit more mature content, like not in any sort of like explicit sort of way. But the video that's coming out on the second channel tomorrow is kind of just my thoughts about the reality of online dating in 2026. And I haven't really partaken in it, but just like based on what I've heard and that sort of thing, I just wanted to give my input on it as, you know, a 27-year-old guy. And so on the second channel, definitely take a look at that tomorrow if you are interested in it, and my thoughts a bit more upon it. And I'm happy to expand a bit more on stream if you guys would like for me to. But as always, it's good to get back into the swing of things. I feel like that was a rougher introduction. I feel like it's been a couple of days, and when you're out of the swing of things, then it can be a bit more difficult to, I feel like, get back into the vibe. But as you can see, we're once again collecting some wooden materials. Actually, let's put on our flashback mod cinematic. And it's good to be back and hanging out with you guys. It's been much more technical over the maybe last 5 days or so when it comes down to making Minecraft videos. Now, interestingly, the video that came out today, which seems to be performing pretty well so far, and it's only come out like 2 hours ago, is a video in the last two videos, actually. No, the video and then 2 videos before that, both of those videos that have been performing very well when it comes to like the educational aspect of Minecraft and world building in particular, I actually made about 3 months ago, which is kind of interesting when it comes down to it. Like 3 months ago, I guess I definitely had some sort of idea going, or you know, theme, and something to roll with, I would say, when it comes to ideation and progression in Minecraft, and being able to explain that and educate behind that. And I'm very happy that I have been pursuing that, and I decided to back like during December, like the Christmas break period of time, make those sorts of videos and see what would happen, because they have performed well on the channel before, and it does seem like they happen to be doing pretty well too. So I am definitely happy about that. But as always, it's a good feeling to be back on stream here too. I definitely do want to collect the spruce saplings, but for stream I actually did spend about an hour of time collecting and kind of smelting down materials for the upcoming build. And so we have a pretty good looking inventory. As you can see, these are all of the good materials that we have here. And then we have a couple more building blocks, but these are kind of just extra blocks here too. I'm not actually going to be using them, except for maybe the bone meal here. And then nothing that we're going to be using here besides maybe some of the oxeye daisies, maybe some of the saplings we'll use in the future. And in the bottom chest, we have plenty of wood, but the main chest that we're actually using is this chest that we have right here. As you can see, but we have plenty of blocks. This is a big build, and it's not exactly everything that we need, but it's most of the things. But we do have to collect a bit more acacia, and we have to get some gilded blackstone too. You can see that we have the acacia trees right here. And so we can start to chop them down as well. And it is a good feeling to be back on stream as well. Hopefully the microphone and everything is sounding okay when it comes down to it. I'm so upfront with people when it comes down to like what I do, and when it comes to Minecraft and hanging out with you guys. I feel like you know, I was FaceTiming my mom on the way home from work, and she was like, "What's your plan for tonight?" And I was like, "I haven't really played Minecraft all week. I've been editing videos, and I've been doing the other creative side of things, which I really do enjoy." And, you know, I said that to her. It's like, I really do enjoy doing like all of the, you know, other creative elements of like, you know, doing the YouTube channel. But it's super fun to be able to play some video games. You know, playing video games and being able to hang out with you guys is always much more rewarding than, or not rewarding, I would say. The videos are more rewarding, but the experience of hanging out with you guys is, you know, it's priceless, I would say. Like, I love doing it. And it's fun to play video games. Like, it's much more dopamine-genic, you know, much more, you know, stimulating and relaxing to be able to hang out with you guys and make progress on a world than, you know, doing all the editing things when it comes down to making a higher quality sort of Minecraft video. So I feel like that's one of the main reasons why I love streams so much. And I also do think that we're going to be able to get a good amount of progress done tomorrow, hopefully on the Friday night stream, where I do think that we'll hopefully get around to doing some building and actually start to make this mega build kind of for me. We're pretty close to having all of the materials that we need for it, so we will have to see what happens. Vampy, it's good to see you. And hey, as I was saying in the Discord, we're both looking sharp at this point in time. Looking so fresh and so clean. And I know that you have the day off, so I'm happy about that. And I hope that you're enjoying your time and hopefully feeling a bit better. I know that you weren't feeling too well a bit earlier in the week. But yes, I guess I would say that dopamine-genic is a power word. It's a word that I feel like I've incorporated into my vocabulary. When I was a kid, not even, I guess when I was a young adult, I would say, I got very much so into the idea of the hedonic treadmill, which is the idea that as we continue to increase the quality of our lives and have better and better things, hopefully over time, the more we get kind of used to that aspect of the way that we live life. And even if we had really wanted to have exactly what we have right now a couple of years back, going back to where we were feels awful, where a couple of years ago, wherever we were at was good enough and we just wanted to have something better, if that makes sense. So the more that you have, the more you kind of just get used to whatever it is. And that kind of ever fleeting desire of not being, content with what you have and wanting more or envisioning more and not being, even with setbacks, not being able to have the perspective and appreciation for what you do happen to have in the present moment. That is something that afflicts us all, and we always, happen to want more. And in YouTube, it is a huge aspect of that too, right? Like, you always happen to continue to raise the bar of what you expect for yourself. And I think that, it's also a juggling act and a perspective of the expectation that you place out of anything. But the more that you get used to anything, there always is some sort of, habit forming behavior in your minds and stronger neural connections that, come with expectation. And if things don't perform to that, even in a subliminal way, that can have a massive impact on how you perceive, how you're doing in life. Where if you do look back at, where you were in terms of a self-progression or understanding or, even self-empathy sort of standpoint, or your own skill sets or progressions, like, you really have come a long way. But the hedonic treadmill is the idea that when you are, when, the better things get, the more you get accustomed to those things. And there is a counter kind of occurrence or counterpoint to this, which is, stoicism and kind of just living off of what you can and kind of subjecting yourself to suffering in small ways in order to appreciate the bigger picture. And so, like, in a philosophical way, like a stoic, traditional stoic would every once in a while, like, sleep on the floor. And I don't do that. I still sleep in my bed every night, but even like sleep on the floor. And they would, do that so that they would appreciate the mattress that they have and be able to have much more of a perspective towards the material possessions that they have and their relationship with comfort when it comes down to it. And so I do employ that as much as I can into having those sorts of perspective, and even doing something hard like waking up early or doing extra work if you don't want to do it, and pushing through at the gym or running farther than you thought you were going to. All those things kind of add up to counteracting the hedonic treadmill and, also, just employing perspective. I think that, even taking a step back from electronics and social media and all that sort of stuff in order to employ a bit of perspective about where you're at, I think that even doing that in good times can have a massive effect when you are suffering a bit more, or times are looking a bit more difficult than they usually happen to be, and you're on a down curve in life. But easier said than done, because I know that we all happen to live very busy lives as well. Yeah, super handsome. So fresh and so clean. Okay, not a bad start when it comes down to felling trees, too. So let me take a look at chat. Sometimes I sleep in my office chair. Does that count? I feel like I have a decent response to that. And kind of like a good question too about it. Ooh, Vampy, tell me more about being a stoic versus a realist. I'd like to know more about the difference. But here we are. Here we have you on the stream book for tonight. And it's always good to see you. Okay, so when it comes down to sleeping in the office chair, probably after playing Minecraft or doing something like that, I think that one thing that I heard a long time ago is that, you know, it really depends on how much sleep you're getting every single week, if that makes sense. You know, if you get enough sleep for the entire week, even if you miss a couple of hours of sleep, or even if your sleep quality isn't that great, I do think that as long as you feel well rested and you feel like you can perform well, that is enough, right? I think that if you happen to do a lot of introspection and you're like, okay, I really am not feeling that kind of sharp, or I'm not feeling that great, and if you really deep dive into that kind of like introspectively, you're like, okay, maybe it's probably because I'm, you know, really not getting enough sleep, because sleep is such an important thing. And I'm not perfect about it. And I used to be one of those super diehards about like, I'm just going to run on no sleep. And I do think that I can perform very well on very little sleep at the same time. I do kind of, as a habit, I'm very kind of regimented nowadays on having actually a bedtime alarm. So instead of having like a necessarily, I do have like a wake up alarm, which is around like 2:15, or not 2:15, 4:15, 4:20, or 4:23 in the morning. I'm very regimented on actually going to sleep on the weekdays, pretty well, pretty good. Maybe like 80%, maybe 85% success rate on going to sleep around 8:35, maybe, or sorry, 7:45, 8 p.m. And I wake up at 4:15, you know, so going to sleep by 8 p.m. is very important in order to get my 8 hours of sleep. And I'm actually pretty good about doing it. I do it pretty much every single day of the week nowadays. And so actually, if you want to make sure that you can get your 8 hours of sleep, if you set an alarm for yourself, even if it's like a mental thing, to go to sleep by a certain time so that you can get a certain amount of hours of sleep, more that you kind of grow that mental muscle, it really will change your ability to, I think, even be productive, because many people say that they are the most productive in the morning. And I'm definitely one of those people. And if you ever want to experiment with that, I think it's worth trying to do, I would say. Okay, let me head to sleep for the night. Vampy, I see that you have responded. And I want to see more. But I know that I also want to say that, like, I am just unique in my own regard. And so I do say that, like, if it happens to be helpful for you. But I do know that a lot of people have also worked their schedules into being, much more about a night owl, or being, on an alternate schedule, right? And so this doesn't apply to everyone when it comes down to it. So I think that as long as you are able to have the efficiency that you want to have on your own sleep schedule, and how that looks for your, energy levels and psyche and psychology, I think that everyone is different, and everyone lives a different perspective in life, and circadian rhythm almost too, and schedule on their lives for productivity and deep work or creativity. And for me, I know that I'm an oddball. Like tomorrow morning at 4:30 in the morning on Friday, although I could sleep in, at 4:30 in the morning, I'm going to be doing some sort of Minecraft related thing, whether it be like editing or recording something, or whether making a thumbnail even for tomorrow night's stream, like any of those things. Like, I will be doing one of those things, right? And I wake up purposefully so that I have the time to do that. And most people, like, even that make Minecraft content, are not going to wake up, early specifically to do that. And so for me, that means that I go to sleep at, by 8 o'clock p.m. so that I can wake up at 4:15 in the morning and feel awesome, so that I can do something more, on Minecraft or for the YouTube channel. And other people, they could, for example, to get their 8 hours of sleep, they could go to sleep at noon, at 12 o'clock p.m., wake up at 8 p.m. And for them, maybe they spend from 8 p.m. or 8 p.m., which is their 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., which is their 9 p.m., just getting ready for the day. And then maybe from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., which is their 9 to 10 a.m., they go to the gym and they work out. And then after that, they shower up at 10:30 p.m., which is 10:30 a.m. their time. And then by 11 p.m., which is 11 a.m. their time, they happen to do exactly the same thing that I'm doing, which is like recording or like, trying to do something. I do know that other people happen to be early morning live streamers, which is something I do from time to time on Saturdays or Sundays, which we did last weekend too. We had a 7-hour live stream last Sunday, which is a personal PR when it comes down to it, which is absolutely crazy too, if I'm being honest. I can't believe I actually did it that long. And it's good to be back hanging out with you guys too. So thank you so much for spending some time with me here tonight as we get ready for the next build here. And Zenpai, it's good to see you too, my man. Happy Thursday. And I spent a bit of time today on the Fantasy SMP, kind of honestly recording an outro, kind of showing everyone's work and that sort of thing. We still have 5 days left though, so if you have any fun things that you would like to do, I'm more than happy to maybe try to hop on this weekend, but we'll have to see what happens too. But I do want to put you into the stream book for tonight. And And so bada boom, there we go. There we have you. And definitely some good progress when it comes down to chopping down all these trees too. I think that I have a couple of more oak trees that we have over here. All I feel is tired in the morning. I feel tired in the morning, but then after I have to push it, I have to do the mental override and push myself to go and work out in the morning. And then as soon as I do it, I feel like I'm doing something hard, and there is that mental resistance. But the more that I do that hard thing, the more I feel myself wake up. And so there's almost like a linear or like a one-to-one connection with me being able to push myself harder physically in the morning, and me being more alert in the morning. Like I work out pretty much at the same time pretty much every day, which is around 5:15 to 5:30 in the morning. Like pretty consistent. Sometimes it's a bit later on a Saturday, and sometimes even a Sunday too, but usually a Saturday. And for me, the amount of alertness that I have, and just like clearness mentally, is all dependent on how much I actually push myself physically at the gym. And the more I push myself, the more I wake myself up. So, although it is hard, and it takes, that exertion, I see that benefit. So, I just remind myself while I'm doing that hard thing that the harder I push myself, the better I feel as a result of it. Depending on even like every kind of little motion in the day too. It all makes a difference. Stretching or going to sleep or, all those things. In my personal opinion. Yeah, I get that. Zenpai, that seems a lot like my weekends too. On Saturday and definitely on Sunday too. I'm just, I'm kind of staring at my screen and that sort of thing. But like, even the small things, I genuinely mean that. Even if it's like jogging the slowest that you can around your block, or jogging to the place that to a restaurant you're like, or a good landmark, just like even just heading there, enjoying the nature and the aesthetic. Or even like for me, I'm a huge proponent of stretching and that sort of thing. Or even like, just the little things, even doing like 10 push-ups, like moving your body and that sort of thing. That can be a good or just kind of perspective shift. I'm very much a believer of body, mind, spirit. Body, mind, spirit. So I don't know, like, I get that. I also feel lucky as a teacher because I am non-stop moving throughout the entire day. You can't be an elementary school teacher, or even I feel like a teacher in general, without having to be constantly on the move in order to help people or respond to people. Although I do know that can be a gift and a curse too, because other people in different professions, they also happen to, definitely in many fields, have to just be on their feet or working and moving and carrying things the entire time, and that can have a huge effect on your body too. So that is also worth keeping in mind. Man, I feel like I got all the mangrove right there. A huge tree's worth. I swear, it's always so hard to get all of these guys too. Yeah, the crazy thing is that moment that you have nothing to do is the moment that you get tired. Yeah, I totally agree with that too. I'm a serial keeping myself ever too busy too. Like the busyness that I keep myself at is something that I love personally, but also could be a detriment to me too at the same point in time. I love doing all of these things, you know, on YouTube and Minecraft and like all, right? Like you guys know that by now. Like I love this stuff. And I know that we all share that, like we have that in common. But like that also takes different sacrifices. And I'm happy to make them. Like I enjoy everything that I'm doing. I have so much fun hanging out. I'm definitely a workaholic, and I've always wanted to be a professor when it comes down to it. And professors are, on average, much higher workaholic, or on average, they're much more likely to be workaholics than other people. And so I feel like that is definitely me to a certain degree, I would say. Okay, I do think that we have to head to sleep for the night. And Vampy says, for me, I wake up at 9:30, work from 10 to 5 or 6 a.m, gym from 6:30 to 7:30, then I Minecraft. Oh, I got an ad on my own stream. From 8 a.m. to maybe around 2 p.m, which I would rather stream if I had the net to do so. Yeah, I feel you. Then I go to sleep again from 3 to 9:30 p.m. Yeah, that's such an interesting schedule when it comes down to it. Hey, Pika, it's good to see you. Hey, thanks so much for the comment. Pika ended up taking a look at the most recent video that came out today and was asking a bit more when it comes down to lighting in Minecraft. So give me a second. And Pika, if you are still here, let me know, and I'll give you a bit more about my ideas about lighting in Minecraft if you want. I'm happy to. And then I'm probably going to, after that, we'll keep on chopping some wood down, maybe right here. But I do think that it is almost 6 o'clock, and I do think that I want to have some dinner. I do have kind of like a crock pot mix mash, like beans and chicken and some lettuce and like just like a lot of weird things. I am on a challenge for myself to see if I can not spend pretty much any more money for the entire month of October. Not October. Why did it say October? Of March. I know that it is the 5th of March, but I want to see if I don't spend if I can spend no more money in March on food or anything like that, and see how frugal I can be. And I hope to invest all of the money that I can make from it too. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Hey, Pika. Okay, cool. Okay, give me 1 second. And then I will let you know a bit more about my thoughts when it comes down to lighting for world building in Minecraft. And as you can see, we definitely have what you were talking about with all the torches around here. But that is going to change. That is going to change. We are definitely kind of in the resource collection phase before we get to probably, hopefully, building a huge build here tomorrow night on Friday night stream. Locktober? I've never heard of Locktober before. Dude, I have to know. I feel like it has to have some sort of Halloween. I feel like it's not stream talk aboutable. I feel like I can't chat about it on stream. No, I don't. I did say October. I didn't mean to. Okay. Anyway, when it comes down to lighting in Minecraft, so as you can see right here, I am kind of just collecting wood. But if I was to put on the Lightmatica schematic, you would see that I have a whole ton for a huge build in this area right here, and we just happen to be collecting resources for it. And so this is just helpful for the time being. But lighting in Minecraft is, especially when you have shaders, but even if not, is one of the most important things that I think you can do actually to kind of make your build stand apart, I would say. And the reason that I say that is because, as you can see, like I'm using complementary Unbound shaders at this point in time, and I usually use complementary reimagined shaders too, but you can see that we have actual kind of like shade when it comes down to it. And I wish that I had kind of like a reference kind of image to show you with right now, but the shadows on shaders, or even without it, when it comes down to different gradients and texture patterns, and even the way that you can use your architecture to, make a different sort of depth to the world. All those different kind of elements can make a huge difference when it comes down to like the world building and storytelling. So like the way that I would think about it is like, imagine one thing that I really want to do is I want to make a black market on the Lotus SMP. And in order to do that, like there's so many different sort of world building iterations that I could do with the lighting in that build. I can make the world building of the black market feel like it's underground underneath the shopping district, and it feels very much kind of very unsafe, right? In order to use the lighting to make it feel very unsafe, I would use a certain sort of delicate mixture of probably maybe some redstone lamps and maybe some like copper lamps as well. And especially even if I wasn't overgoing on that, I wanted to keep it more kind of like bare bones and much more realistic to life too, but also kind of fantasy, but also lighting based and atmospheric. Having all those, or having a ton of candles in your underground sort of black market sewer sort of base is one sort of like atmospheric element. And you don't want to have tons of torches just like that for that, right? Or if you are, you could even imagine one castle too. Like you can have one castle that is perfectly lit up, and that amount of light in the way that is symmetrical can show the, the economic value of that castle or kingdom, and it can show the organization and structure and civilization that happens to live there. Where you can also have a kingdom that, maybe it's still in the building process too, or it's much more of a makeshift sort of kingdom because maybe they're rebels and they're fighting against some sort of other counterforce, and you don't have that actual, ability to make something pitch perfect because maybe you don't have the amount of people to do so, or maybe you don't have the materials to do so, and there's too much conflict to do so, if that makes sense. So using either soul lanterns to maybe convey some sort of vibe, or different sort of redstone lighting components, or end rods to show some sort of modernity, or end rods definitely kind of show luxury, especially when complemented with white blocks. The amount of give and take when it comes down to the lighting aspect of actually showing depth and life to your Minecraft world. Like, dude, there's so much to it when it comes down to it. And I have nothing really built here, unfortunately, so I can't tell you, or I can't show you at this point in time, but hopefully that's helpful. And I'm more than happy to talk about it more too, along with Jordan and Cobb. It's good to see you both. And I do have to put you guys into the stream book too. So we have Jordan right here. Oh man, wait, I can't hear the music anymore. Can y'all hear me? What happened? Okay, yeah. Can y'all still hear me? Oh, you can hear both. Am I doubling up right now? I do hope that I fixed it. Okay, let's get back into here. We can put Jordan, hopefully, into the stream book right here, just like that. Okay, we are good to go. And we can put Cobb in here too. Cobb, I still haven't taken a look at the long play that you ended up posting this week, but I am excited to do so during the weekend. And then, of course, we also have Pika too. And thank you for coming and spending some time with us and coming and hanging out tonight. Okay, and bada boom on the 5th of March, just like that. Oh, dude, please tell me that we saved that. Oh, I didn't do it. Oh, dude, that always happens. Like I always exit out by accident. Okay, put Jordan in here too. I'm also Cobb. The path looks super good, dude. I'm a huge fan of it. I love path building, as you know, but you'll actually see I recorded a segment for my episode 1 this morning, explaining that I love the way that you make paths in Minecraft. I really do enjoy it. Alright, but let's head to sleep for the night too. And let me take a look at chat too. Oh, it's a no commentary? Okay. I could still be down though. I don't know how is it performing so far? Pico says, I guess what I'm picking up is using space intentionally. Sometimes I'll have very large open spaces in rooms or buildings when that's not always needed, or it could be refined with intention, which could make lighting feel intentional and accessible. Yeah, Vampy up arrows that too. I totally agree. Yeah, makes me think of working on micro aspects of builds compared to macro. Yeah, dude, I'm all about micro. Vampy has been about macro, and I think that we happen to be like a dynamic sort of building off of one another duo when it comes down to it, because micro is a huge thing and I want to get even better at that. And I also want to get better at macro, and Vampy is much better at macro and wants to get better at micro. So I think it's a good kind of like symbiosis, I would say. Yeah, so micro is a huge thing, massively underlooked thing when it comes down to building a Minecraft world, in my personal opinion. But Vampy says, but I'd also say don't overfill an area. Sometimes dead space is needed in a build in order to make it cohesive. For then I just use your bog standard small bush with lichen. Yeah, I agree. I like that. That's something that I need to keep getting better at. I am not perfect because I like adding all those different aspects when it comes down to it, and I can, I think that over time I'm still whittling down into less but more, if that makes sense. You know, minimalism or essentialism, but using, you know, the more you do that, the more you put in things, then you can subtract from that, or from those things, I would say. And it helps me at least understand what it is that I do want to have and don't want to have in my builds. Yeah, and Vampy is a mega builder on Westerly for context. But anyway, guys, I do think that I'm gonna go and have some dinner for tonight, and I do appreciate, as always, you guys spending some time with me here tonight on Thursday night, and I'm very excited for Friday night stream, of course. So we're gonna have a good old time and probably start to get around to building this first mega build of this area that we have right here, and the first build that I have on Forevercraft as well. So I hope that you guys are excited for that, and if you haven't, please do consider taking a look at the video that ended up coming out today, a couple of hours ago, about how to think about a world builder, because I think that it's pretty related to this conversation here that we're having tonight, and I do think that you guys would appreciate it. So all the love, guys. I can't wait to spend some time with y'all tomorrow. Vampy, you and I are looking good with our brand new haircuts. we're looking quite good looking, and we will continue all of the good energy into Friday and into the weekend as well. So all the love, and once again, thanks for spending some time with me here tonight, and I will see you guys all on the flip side. It's not up to me. That's not up to me. Good night, good night, good night, Jordan, Bambi, Pika, Cobb. Senpai as well. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out, and I will see you guys all very, very soon. 24 hours from now. Good night, good night, good night.